All right. Hello, everyone. I am Veronica Parker. I am a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness, and I am so excited to be here with you tonight. And I wonder what possibilities are available for us to access and to create together. I wonder what is possible for us tonight that might have never been possible before. That if we would allow the possibilities, it would actualize a reality beyond this reality with total ease. So I know many of you are familiar with Access Consciousness, and some of you are not, you're brand new. So there is a clearance statement that I'm going to be mentioning probably pretty often throughout our call tonight. And that clearance statement, it basically operates like a magic wand. It's a magic wand that allows us to just clear anything that is showing up in our reality and basically start from a blank space of new possibilities. So that clearance statement is right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. If you would like to learn more about it, you can visit later theclearancestatement.com. And Dr. Dane here, one of the founders of Access Consciousness, will give you an awesome explanation for it. So for now, I am wondering how many of us have been using just a little bit of control in our lives. How many of us have been telling the universe how to create or what to create in our life? So there's this really funny thing that we do. You know, I'm sure many of you have heard this thing, ask and you shall receive. Now, in that equation of ask and receive, I never heard, control. Like I never heard if it says ask, control, and then you'll receive, or ask, receive, and maybe control how it's going to show up. I don't know about you, but I never heard that. And yet I notice there are so many ways that I actually do that in my own life. Because there are so many ways in which I've asked for certain things to show up in my life. And then I get into this kind of like constricting little space that doesn't allow the universe to truly grant me whatever it is that I've been asking for. So for anyone here in our call tonight or listening in the future, if you might have noticed yourself doing the same thing, would you like to destroy and uncreate all that right here and now? And if you like to do that, then we'll do the clearance statement, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So what else is truly possible for us beyond control that we don't think is possible, that if we allow the possibilities, it would actualize a magical reality right away with total ease? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So here's the thing that's kind of funny. I used to think control was being super controlling, like those anally retentive people, that just like show up in your life, those type A personalities. I have to control every little detail of everything. But of course, there's a full spectrum of control. There are those people that are very meticulous and they desire to have control over everything and everyone. And then there are different levels of control, So truly, how many of us have been trying to control our life? And how is that working out for you? And how often do we go into our head, into our mind, and we think that the universe is not delivering that which we asked for because it's not showing up in the way that we expected it to show up? So if you notice that you might have been doing that in your life, that's also a way of control. So would you be willing to first acknowledge all the ways in which you might have been exerting control in your life, and anything that doesn't allow you to receive and to be aware of this information? Would you like to destroy and uncreate it now, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. You know what's another way that we are so smart and so powerful at controlling? We put up all these walls and barriers around us. Some of us might do it because, we feel as though we have to be protected. Some of us might do it because we can only receive so much. And some of us might do it because of many, many other reasons. What are your reasons and justifications for putting up all these walls and barriers in your life? And more importantly than actually knowing what your reasons and justifications for that are, would you be willing to choose something different right here and now? So if you do, let's go ahead, and if you're not operating any kind of like heavy machinery or a car or driving, or doing anything crazy like that, just close your eyes for the next 20 seconds and let me guide you into this energetic exercise that can allow you to access a different space of possibilities. So let's just close our eyes right now and take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you do, ask this sparkly energy that is part of who you are, that we call your infinite being, to expand in all directions all at once, in front and behind you, to the left and to the right, above and below you. Ask this infinite being to expand, and as you exhale your breath, let's energetically push down all your walls and barriers that you've erected around you right now. And anywhere you're going into, I don't know how to do this is too hard, blah, 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 let's pot and pock all of that. You do not require to know how, it's just an ask. So let's just ask all those walls and barriers to go down, down, down. All walls and barriers in this reality and other realities, in this lifetime and other lifetimes, in this dimension and other dimensions, in this universe and other universes. Anything that doesn't allow you to lower down all your walls and barriers right away with total ease, let's destroy and uncreate it right now, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Awesome, you are doing great. You are being great. And now taking another deep breath in, ask your infinite being to move further in all directions, 1,000 miles or 1,000 kilometers in every direction. And then lower your walls and barriers even more, even more, even more. If you have a lot of chatter or thinking or thoughts going on in your mind, those are also walls and barriers that we consciously or unconsciously have created. Just bring your attention into your infinite being and allow that being to expand even more, even more, even more. Allow your infinite being to truly be infinite, to occupy the entire space that you are in right now. Allow your infinite being to expand even more and occupy your entire home, your entire neighborhood, your entire province or state that you live in, And just when it feels like it's too much and you just can't expand even more, let it expand into your entire country, into the whole continent you live in. Bring down all those walls and barriers that you're erecting so that you don't receive the infiniteness that is who you be. Lower them down just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and ask your infinite being to expand even more. Let it be right away into all continents, everywhere all at once. Begin to sense your connection and communion with the planet, with the earth. Begin to sense and perceive all the molecules in your being and your body vibrating with total joy right now. Anything that doesn't allow you to be, know, receive, and perceive this with total ease, let's destroy it and create it now, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. And everywhere you're going into, oh, this is too much. Because if you get to really perceive the juicy, joyful vibration that are your molecules, that is your being, that is your body right now, and maybe you're trying to slow them down, would you be willing to destroy all of that right now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. So slowing them down, it's a way of controlling them. And sometimes we go into slowing the molecules down because we don't want to be as different as we truly be. It is much easier to fit into this reality by being the same, average, normal, and real as everyone else. So what would it take for you right here and now to make a different choice? What would it take for you to choose something different right here and now? What if you were to allow all those juicy molecules that are moving at infinite speeds to just contribute to you, your body, your life, and your energy right now with total ease? Anything that doesn't allow this to show up as if by magic, will you destroy it and create it now, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Another way that sometimes we go into controlling is by putting up all those walls and barriers just a little bit more up, just a little bit more, because we can't receive everything that's available for us. So anywhere and everywhere where you might have been putting those walls and barriers up to only receive just a little bit, like everyone else in this reality, like any other human in this reality, so you can be average, normal, and real like they are, would you be willing to destroy and create all of that right now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. What are you refusing to receive that if you were to receive it, it would completely change your life and your reality? What are you refusing to receive that if you were to receive it, it would completely change your life and your reality? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what are you refusing to be that if you were to be it, it would completely change everything? Uh-oh, I said the word change. Uh-oh, don't run away, please. What happens when the word change shows up? What is it that we do, or what happens with our body, with our minds? And if you'd like to share, you can unmute yourself. Or you can post it in the chat. What shows up for you when we talk about change, or when we talk about being different?
For me personally, I think it's I want to change. I want things to happen. It's excitement.
Awesome. Very cool. And if you guys are on the line and you're not talking, just mute yourself back up. I unmuted everyone so that if anyone wanted to talk, they could do that. And Marita says, yeah, let's go. Awesome. Yes, change can be very exciting. Yes. So are you willing to create the change that is required for you to be the infinite being you truly be, for you to be the infinite perceiving, the infinite knowing, and the infinite receiving with total ease? Gunjan, you can answer if you like.
It's very liberating to think that way, and it's you just feel you're free, you're flying like a bird. But sometimes you stand up doing all the judgments, and you're not that infinite being as much you want to be one.
Yes, totally, absolutely.
And I understand the infinite being because I felt it, I feel it, and it's amazing. You literally feel you are flying in the air.
Yes. So what if we didn't have to use any more judgments to control this infinite being? What would that be like? How many judgments are we using to control this so-called life we are choosing? Everything that is times a gazillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it all now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So what is the value of using judgment to control?
I don't see any value in that.
Anyone else? What is the value of using judgments to control? So Marita says no value. Okay, so if there is no value, what is the reason why we go back to judging? What is the reason why we go back? What it's like, we are aware of what the infinite being is and the level of possibilities that would become available for us if we chose to create our life in this way. And how often do we still go to the judgment instead of the choice or the freedom of the possibilities? And then Marita says, we're stuck. Oh, I think she means stuck. We're stuck in the lower dimensions if we judge. Yeah. So, yes. So what else is possible beyond the judgments? So right now, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all judgments you have about you, about your life, about controlling or not controlling, creating or not creating, choosing or not choosing, or even about me and this call? Would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all judgments, all projections, all rejections, all expectations, all separations, all decisions, all computations, all conclusions, and all secrets and lies? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And Yolanda says, judgment is a lie that gives us the illusion of having control because it's solid and it looks real. WTF. That's right. Yeah, definitely. And would you be willing to destroy and uncreate everywhere you've been implanted and explanted to operate from judgment instead of from choice, judgment instead of questions, answers instead of questions, answers instead of awareness? Would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all implants and explants that are holding this in place? Yes, 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 right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. So just for the next 2 seconds, tap into your energetic awareness of what your life, no, tap into your energetic awareness of what possibilities would become available for you, your body, and your life if you didn't have to go to judgment as a form of controlling. All right? So you have an awareness of it. You perceive this energy that could be your life if you didn't choose to go to judgment. Yes, infinite possibilities, Marita says. Yes, absolutely, infinite possibilities. So, would you be willing to choose this? Anything that doesn't allow this to show up as if by magic, will you destroy it and create it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And the thing is, we can choose it, like we all just chose, most of us just chose it right now. And then we, at some point we finish this call, we go about our life, we live our life, and you might become aware of places and spaces where you're judging yourself or where you're judging something or someone. So what can you do when you become aware that you're judging, that you went into the form of control instead of the choice of creation? So what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can we and our bodies be to have total ease and clarity with all of this? Anything that doesn't allow this to show up as if by magic, will you destroy it and create it now, please? Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yes, so Marita says stop and pot and pock. Beautiful, yes. When you become aware, you go into judgment. Instead of going into more judgment, because I've noticed I do this quite a lot. I actually don't do it as much now that I'm using a lot of access tools and I've been facilitating. But before that, I used to do it a lot. I still do it sometimes. So what I used to do was I would become aware that I was judging, and then I would judge myself for judging. So then it would become this like loop of incessant judgment that would get me deeper and deeper and deeper into the judgment. So what can you do instead, might you ask? You become aware of a judgment, just like Marita said. You say, stop, stop, simply stop. You can pot and pock, all of the judgments. And here's one other thing that actually Dane here says a lot, and I like to bring it here. Is every time we're judging, if you notice that you're judging someone else for something that they're doing or something that they're saying or something that they're being, it's because at some point you've also either done that or been that yourself. So you can say pot and pock every time I've been that or I've done that. And what else is possible now? You can also use another awesome tool that I love, 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 love from Access, and that is interesting point of view. So when you become aware of a judgment, especially if it's towards yourself, although you can use it really for anything and anyone, you can go interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. And then you can ask a question. Okay, so asking a question is another tool. See, these tools are so simple that so often we almost like undermine the power that they have and the capacity that they have to create change almost instantaneously in our life. So asking a question is such an easy tool that you can be and ask and do to get out of the algorithms that we have that almost like make us go back to what we already knew. So make us go back to controlling, make us go back to judging, make us go back to having a definite answer. So what question can you be that would allow you to change all of this with total ease? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. So what questions do you actually have right now for me? What is this bringing up for you that you would like to bring up and play together with?
I judge myself a lot on being consistent. There are a lot of tools that I've learned with Access, but I don't see myself using it as much as I know. So I judge myself on that. Why am I not using the tools? And why am I not doing things to make my life easy as it could be?
Yeah. And how are those judgments working out for you?
Sometimes it can run a little longer than needed, and I judge myself on that. And sometimes I'm wiser and I'm judging myself right here. I get over it pretty fast.
Cool. So what if instead of judgment, you could play? And what if instead of like having to do things a certain way, you know, like the minute, I'll tell you, like the minute I hear the word consistency, I want to run out the door, because consistency to me is so like boxing, and it's so this reality, and it's so like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that. No, 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 no. Okay. So for me, if I bring it into play, it has a whole different energy for me. Can you perceive that?
Yes.
So what if instead you could be like, first thing, you know, you wake up in the morning and you go, okay, what tool can I play with right now? Or body, what tool would you like to play with right now?
Okay.
What would that be like for you?
Interesting point of view.
Okay.
If I go,
So
if I
that's
go
the one
down,
that's
yes.
the one that's coming up for you, the tool to play with right now. Okay, cool. And you know, another practical way to do it, it's, you know, we're all using phones all the time. We're kind of, especially now, we're all like attached to our phones. It's to do it as a reminder every day. So, you know, like 9 a.m., like interesting point of view, when I was playing for like 3 months in a row with interesting point of view, every day at 9 a.m., iPod would come up on my phone. So it was a reminder for me to play with iPod. But you or anyone else that's interested, you can actually have on your calendar every day a reminder that says, what tool would I like to play with today or right now? And you can have it repeated throughout your day. So every time the reminder comes on your phone, you're like, oh, okay, what tool can I play with right now?
I did play with this tool, the 10 seconds asking questions. And that helped me a lot calming my, if I would get anxiety sometimes working at the hospital or any situation. That did help me a lot. I did do that for 3 days. It was helpful.
That's awesome. Yay. How does it get any better than that? Very cool. Very cool. So even with the tools of access, like what if we didn't have to control that? Like what if we can bring the energy of play and possibilities to just access a whole different space that is not what we're used to from this reality, right? Because if you talk to anyone in this reality about how to create a new habit, okay, like have you guys heard like how to create a new habit? You kind of have to do the same thing every day for 21 days in order to create a new habit. And if you're in the world of Kundalini yoga, which is something else that I teach, they would have us do like 45-minute long meditations every day for 40 days so that you would change an old habit. Now, if you're a humanoid like me, you probably don't totally love doing the same thing every day for 21 days or 40 days, okay? Because humanoids, all of us that like to judge ourselves a lot, all of us that absolutely know there is a new reality of possibility that is available now for all to choose, all of us that have to be engaged in at least 10 different activities at once in order to have fun, in order to be successful, and in order to like just have something totally different show up, we're not so keen in having to do the same thing over and over in the same way. So for me, what's really worked in the past and now, it's bringing that energy of play. And that's also the energy of creation. When we went into the exercise of expanding yourself and lowering down your walls and barriers and sensing that molecules in your body, the molecules in the body are not static, okay? The molecules in the body are moving. The molecules in the body are playing. And now begin to sense like the molecules of the room that you're in right now, like the chair you're sitting on. Are those molecules static? It might look as though it's static and it's not moving, and yet the molecules are moving, perhaps not as fast as we are, or our bodies or other things. They're still moving. Bring to your consciousness maybe a tree that's near your house that you walked by, or it's in your yard, or you've been to. Okay, when you bring that awareness and that consciousness, what are you sensing? Is that tree static? Is it like dense and solid, as though that's the way it appears from the outside? But what are the molecules in the tree doing? Are they dancing? Are they playing? Are they moving? So what if instead of controlling all the little details that happen throughout our life on a day-to-day basis, we could actually ask all of those molecules in our body, in the room, in the chair you're sitting on, in the trees that are around your house, in your state, in your province or your country, to play with you and to contribute to you. How much more fun would you have if you invited everything and everyone to contribute and play with you? How much more fun could we have? And how much more could your life change? And how much more exciting could your life become? So anything that doesn't allow you to be, know, receive, and perceive this and choose this with total ease, joy, and glory, would you like to destroy and uncreate it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, short boys and beyonds. So would you be willing to just ask the molecules in your body to co-create your life with you and to contribute to you and your life? All right, so go ahead and ask them. Would you be willing to ask the molecules in the room you're in right now to come and play with you and to create and contribute to your life with total ease, joy, and glory? Anything that doesn't allow this to show up as if by magic, will you destroy and uncreate it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And would you be willing to ask the planet, the earth, the trees, the flowers, the grass blades, the birds to play with you? Even if you're, I don't know where you are spending this special time, you know, you might not be allowed to go outside. Even if you can't go outside, you still can have that communion with them. And it's just an ask. Would you be willing to play with me? And what would it take for us to ask the universe to play and create with us too? Anything that doesn't allow this to show up as if by magic, will you destroy and uncreate it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what energy, space, consciousness, and choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can we and our bodies be to create, play, and contribute with the universe and all the magical beings of the universe right away with total ease? Anything that doesn't allow this to show up as if by magic, will you destroy it and create it now, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And you want to know another interesting way that we control what is happening in our life or how we receive it or how we create it? It's that crazy word called how. So everywhere you're going into the how, or everywhere you're going into your mind to figure that out, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it now, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Everywhere and anywhere, you're trying to figure out how so you get it right, so you won't be wrong. Will you destroy and uncreate this times a gazillion? Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. So what else is coming up for you guys? What questions do you have for me? You can feel free to unmute yourself or post them in the chat. Gunjan, I think if you're talking, I can't hear
Oh,
you. You're
sorry.
muted. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. I said it just feels so light and so liberating to ask your surroundings, the trees, the universe, to come play with you, to come with you. It's just, it makes you feel so light. I don't know how you feel, but it's like you're flying in the air again. That's how I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. How does it get any better than this? So anyone else has any other questions or would like to play with anything that's showing up in your life?
So, Veronica?
Yes?
I had a question in the Spanish chat.
Yeah.
Victoria says, how do we connect with the greatness of the being and be able to have that throughout the day? What tool do you suggest?
Okay, awesome. So the first thing that's showing up right now is to go into that. I don't know if Victoria, if you were part of the beginning of the call when we did the energetic expansive exercise, where you go into your infinite being and you ask your infinite being to expand in all directions all at once. And then you lower down all your walls and barriers. So your infinite being is that part of you that already is all of that. And so going into that as often as you can would be a great gift to access and to be. And the other thing is to, throughout the day, go into asking your walls and barriers to go down and energetically like push them down, because there are so many things that we come into contact throughout the day, you know, whether it's like a conversation with someone on the phone or something that we're watching on TV, or we go into social media, or we talk to our parents. You know, there's a lot of people and a lot of things that can push our hot buttons, and a lot of times we unconsciously like just put up those walls and barriers back up. So it's really good to just bring them down and then allow yourself to expand. And the other thing is to ask a question, like what question can you be that would allow you to have access to that great infinite being right away with total ease. And anything that doesn't allow this, anything that doesn't allow you to be, know, perceive, and receive this, will you destroy and uncreate it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So how is that for you? Thomas, can you ask her and let me know?
She says, thank you. Very light.
Awesome. Very cool. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Okay, we have another question here on the chat. It's Marita says, when someone is talking to you and they are in distress, what is the best thing to do? In my previous studies, I would say within, how can they be helped if our walls are down? Would we not collect other people's stuff? Marita, can you unmute yourself and have a little talk together?
Okay, unmute.
Okay, awesome. So would you like to ask me the question so I hear it from you?
Okay, so the first question I would ask in my previous studies, if someone was in distress or going through a situation, instead of partaking in their situation, I would say within myself, how can they be helped? Putting that out in the universe. In these studies, what is the process for that? That's the first question. And then there was a second question.
Okay, all right, let's do that one. So, so in these studies, I think you mean access consciousness?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So there's so many ways we can go with this. So one of the ways is in access, and especially when we're talking about us being infinite beings, as an infinite being, you are energy, space, and consciousness. So a lot of times we word a question using those three words. So we would say what energy, space, consciousness, and also choice we add in there as well. So what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can my body and I be? And the first thing I would say, like for you, so like if you are observing someone that is having something going on, I would do something for me personally first. So I would go, what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can my body and I be to have total ease and total clarity with all of this? And then you go into the clearance statement. You could say the whole clearance statement, or you can just say pot and pock.
Okay.
Okay. And so then that you have ease with whatever they're having that's going on. And I understand that your question is, what can you do to help them? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Asking the universe or the infinite, like not me, because
Yes, got it. So then the next question that you can ask could be, what is the greatest contribution I can be for them?
okay,
How is that for you?
perfect.
Awesome. In Access, and that's a whole other topic, we talk a lot about contribution, which is very different of the way that this reality talks about contribution. So we talk about contribution as being the simultaneity of gifting and receiving. So in this contextual reality that we're living in, contribution is like, I give you this and you give me this later, or I take this from you later. In our conversation we're having now, contribution is, as I gift you something, within that process, I'm already receiving from it and from you and from the universe and from everything that is contributing to this. Marita, does that make sense for you?
Yes.
Awesome. And a lot of time, okay, we're not going to go into the other thing. It's not showing up right now. Okay, and you had another question.
The other question is, if we keep on pushing our walls down, would we, and if we are not in a very high frequency, would we not pull everyone else's caca stuff into us?
Yeah, I definitely get where you're coming from. It sounds like you've done other studies and other stuff before. Before I came to Access, I've done a lot of other energy modalities, like Reiki and Theta Healing and a lot of different things. And in many of those modalities, we were taught to have a form of protection. So that would be like, wait, so they're telling me to have a form of protection, and here you're telling me to get my walls and barriers down? What is this? I don't even understand it. So in Access, and before I actually tell you this, for you and everyone listening, let me share one more tool. And this is one of the reasons I like Access. Just turns me on. All my molecules are giggling and they're on fire and they're dancing, and it's just like my being and my body are so happy when I'm playing with these tools, okay? Because they're simple and so powerful too. So the thing in Access is that we empower you to know what you know. So we're not telling you to do what we're telling you to do. So everything I'm sharing with you and everyone here today, only use it, put it into practice, play with it if it's light for you. So when I'm talking to you and I'm inviting you to play with a different tool, or I'm doing a process or a question, if you sense that your body and your being are getting more light and expansive, then that tends to be true for you. And if I'm saying something or inviting you to use something and you feel as though it's really heavy and constricting for you, then that's not true for you. And this is a tool that we use all the time with everything. It's such an easy way to sort of calibrate what is true for you and what is not true for you. And also what is true for you now might not be true for you tomorrow. So every day, all the time, we're going into, is it light or is it heavy? Is it constricted or is it expansive? So the next tool, then of course I forgot what I was going to say after that. So now I remember. Okay, so the walls and barriers. So I'm going to share with you the information, what we do, how we play with this in Access. So go into your body and your being and sense if it's light for you, and then you can play it and put it into practice, play with it, And if it's, like heavy and it doesn't, make you feel light, it's not your truth, and you don't have to play with it. It's so easy. So in Access, we had this conversation, and also we've done it throughout our Zoom tonight, that we are infinite beings. So we have our body that is, this thing that you can touch, that you can see, that you can sense with. And we are also an infinite being. So an infinite being is way more than your body. It's that energy, it's that space, it's that consciousness that you be. As an infinite being, you have infinite knowing, infinite being, infinite perceiving, infinite choosing, and infinite receiving. So that is also why I'm sort of explaining that is also why we go into that expansion of infinite being before we bring our walls and barriers down. So truth, would an infinite being require protection?
No.
Exactly. So when you are this infinite being that you truly be, you can easily ask all those walls and barriers to go down, 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 and you do not require protection. And I feel like I'm giving you like the Access 101 in like one night. What else is possible here? How does it get any better than this? So with that, there is one more tool that's showing up for me to share with you and anyone here. And I'm sure many here have already heard it, probably ad nauseum, okay? So the other tool is that we as an infinite being, we also have infinite awareness. And you don't even have to be with someone in the same room in order to be aware of maybe their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, or even the pains that they might be having in their bodies. In fact, almost like 99% of everything that we are aware of, it's not even ours. Although many times we might feel it in our body or as though it is ours. So the other tool that kind of goes hand in hand with infinite being expansion, bringing your walls down, is when you're noticing that you're aware of something that feels as though it's yours, you can go into, who does this belong to? And then using that other tool that was light or heavy, you can go into, truth, is this mine? And maybe I just completely overwhelmed you by just sharing 3 tools in one answer. How are you doing?
No, it's perfect.
Okay, cool.
Totally
So there's
perfect.
actually, just like I showed you on the phone before, there's actually an app that you can download for free, and it's called Who Does This Belong To? So in the app, you can find like all the information about how to play with this tool. And it's such a cool tool to play with for 3 days in a row, because as you're playing with it, you realize like, holy shit, the majority of the things that I was thinking were mine are not mine. And so if you realize that it's not yours, you just go, okay, return to sender with consciousness. So you no longer have to take on all those things that are not yours and you thought they were yours. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Awesome. Any other questions for you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, then Juliana wrote in the chat, Laura asked, could you talk a little bit more about the elementals? Sure. So that could be a whole call on its own, probably multiple calls on their own. So the elementals are the magical beings that we sometimes call like fairies or elves or other things like that. And they're beings that are magical of nature. And just for today, well, just so you know, one of my emails is Infinite Fairy, okay? So I definitely love elementals. I love playing with elementals, and I love inviting the elementals to join us in our creations. The thing is that when we are using control or judgment, the elementals do not want to come and play with you. So what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can we in our bodies be to be as playful and as fun as we truly be with total ease? Anything that doesn't allow this to show up as if by magic, will you destroy it and create it now, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And then it's just an ask. When you're being this energy of joy, this energy of play, this energy of infinite being, you can literally just invite the elementals to come and play with you, to come and create with you, and to come and contribute to any of your creations, whether it's a class you're creating or something else for your business or your job or with your family or with your children or in your household or your body or anything. Julia, can you ask her if that's enough or she requires a little bit more? Okay, while you do that.
Says yes, okay.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Okay, and then Thomas is saying, Romina is asking, control static judgments. Control static judgments. Can she tell me a little bit more? Or can you tell me what she means by that? And then she's asking, run your control bar, would that be helpful? Yes, 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 yes. So I don't know how many of you have had an Access Bars class. So the bars are all the different points that we have in the head that when you touch them, they basically allow you to move beyond limitation into different possibilities. Okay, so one of those bars is the control bar, and running that, so it's basically 3 bars that are right up here, kind of like you go 3 up in the ear and then you turn. So it's money, control, creativity. The middle finger is control. So running that bar, yes, it can totally get you beyond the control. Good, 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 awesome. And control is aligning with this reality. Yeah, that's how this reality creates. That's how this reality creates, by controlling. And when we do control, it's so that we can align and agree with this reality, and so that we can also fit into this reality, and we don't have to be as different and weird as we truly be. And Tomas, if you ask her if that's enough or she requires a little bit more. And another question is, control sometimes has to do with distractor implants. Yes. What tool question can we use to change that? Okay, and Roberta says goodbye. Bye, Roberta. Okay, so for that other question, I require a little more information. Is that Romina or someone else? That row control sometimes has to do with distractor implants.
I asked her already. So the first part, it's okay. She says,
Okay.
thank you. And now she's saying, for example, when you have a mixture of control and being angry.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yes. And does she have a specific thing that she'd like to share?
So she's going to ask in the Spanish chat. Do you hear her? That's right.
Bien. A veces lo que yo percibo es que el control está muy mezclado con implantes distractores, como que me sale controlar porque me enoja una situación, porque me da rabia o me da bronca, sí, todos implantes distractores, y a partir de ahí me surge el control.
Okay. Okay. This is so she's basic. So I'm also
okay.
So now I'm like, do I answer in Spanish or do I tell you in English? Okay. So I'm gonna say it in English so you can translate for her so everyone else understands what's going on. So what she's saying is that a lot of times, you know, she uses control when she gets angry or when she gets mad at something. Then she notices that is when control comes in as almost as a way of dealing with that anger or that madness that shows up. So yes, so anger is one of those distractor implants. And again, that could be a whole other call separately. And so it would be useful when it's showing up. Now, the other thing is anger in particular shows up for two reasons most of the time for us humanoids. One is when you have a capacity that you're not acknowledging. So my question for you would be, what capacity are you that you're not acknowledging? And see if that brings you any more and gets you lighter. And if that doesn't get you lighter, you can also go to this other question, because the other time that we as humanoids get angry is when there is a lie that's either spoken or unspoken. So the other question you can ask when you're noticing that the control is showing up with like kind of like conglomerated with the anger is, what lie is here spoken or unspoken? Okay, so Tomas, do you want to mute her so I can hear what's going on for her?
Es tal cual lo describiste. Gracias, gracias. Con esas dos preguntas me colaboraste, me contribuiste mucho.
Okay, gracias. Okay, so she was just saying that the two questions contributed a lot to her and she feels lighter about it. Cool. Okay, so when you guys also are noticing that there is anger sort of showing up and then control is used as a tool to control the anger or control the situation or whatever's going on, those are also questions that you can use. And you can also just say to destroy and uncreate all distractor implants that are glued, conglomerated, bulked together with this control. And then you just pot and pocket, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, do we have any other questions or comments or any awareness that's showing up for you guys here?
There's one awareness that's showing up for me is that what you had taught me some time back was not scratch your day, what from yesterday, start fresh again every day. And that really helps me because a lot of times we carry a baggage from a day previous and we live in the past and make our future miserable. So that tool really helps me.
Can you share that tool again, please?
Is to pot and park your past, your yesterday, and we start fresh today. Every day is a new day.
Yeah, so powerful. Totally. Yep, so you can destroy and create your past, you can destroy and create everything you were yesterday, you can destroy and create pretty much anything. So you can be like truly present to the now and create from here, because so often we go to the past or to the reference points that we had in the past to create with. And so that's another awesome, powerful, simple tool. Very cool. Any other questions, awareness, comments? How does it get any better than this? So we've done a lot of clearings and I share with you many tools, and there are so many other tools that I would love to share with you. A lot of them come kind of like packaged in an awesome class that's called the Foundation. The Foundation is a class that is done right now online because we are in quarantine and we're not able to travel. And it's a 4-day class. The class just opens the door to so many different possibilities. There are so many tools and processes that are shared throughout the class. And you also get to be facilitated throughout the class with all your questions, with all the stuff that shows up for you. And it is, I don't know, Gunjan, do you want to say something? I know you were just in the last Foundation class that I facilitated. What was that like for you, and what did you receive from it?
Oh my God, there is so much, but I think to put it down in a few words is awareness. It is how powerful we humanoids are, and to live in present. Don't doubt yourself, love yourself, talk to your body. It has the answers, and I've been doing that a lot. It's amazing how it responds. Just to love yourself more than it. Just don't have that doubt. Fall in love with yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yep, Gunjan was just part of a foundation I facilitated a few weeks ago, and we have a new one that's coming up May 17th to the 20th online, and it's happening from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. EST time. And there is a prerequisite, and that is to have taken at least one Access Bars class. If you have that prerequisite and you'd like to have access to a whole new universe of magic, miracles, and possibilities, let this be your invitation to come and join us online. We are going to be doing it on Zoom, just like we're doing this right now. You also get a manual that's emailed to you so that you can follow the different processes. There are so many questions and processes and body processes that we share in the class. For me, I've taken the class before. This was my first time facilitating, and everything changed. I literally felt like I was reborn after I facilitated that class. What's even more interesting, in my interesting point of view, is, you know, I'm a mom and I have 3 teenagers who haven't been totally happy throughout this quarantine. And I also have a husband that lives here with me too. And they didn't participate in the class. They were just in the same household where I facilitated the class. And when we were done with the 4 days, everything changed for them too. So that was such a miracle that I didn't even expect. So what else is truly possible, you know, for each and every one of us, whether or not you choose this class, to access the miracles, the magic, the possibilities that now more than ever are available for us. You know, maybe before this pandemic, we had to maybe like, it was like this like struggle or this word, you know, this work or this stuff that you kind of like had to get in the way and do in order to like access it. Now it's here. It's literally just a choice. So what would it take for you to choose them? What would it take for you not to get caught up in the controlling and the how and the expectation of how it shows up? And what would it take for you to outcreate yourself and create so much more than ever before and be the most amazing invitation for possibilities for you, for your family, for your friends, for this planet, and for everyone in this world? And anything that doesn't allow it to show up as if by magic, let's destroy it and create it now, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyond. Yes. So go ahead.
I want to say something. Veronica, those 4 days were truly magical. And I had my thoughts about how the Zoom will work out. But let me tell you, I don't see how could it get any more better than what it was. It was phenomenal. It's every day, just so you guys know, I work in a hospital. So I work with a lot of COVID patients. So every day, just going through my day, it's amazing how I've been using the tools. And it's not that I'm making an effort. It just comes. It comes naturally. So if I hadn't done those classes, I don't think so I would have used these things. So I would highly recommend to people who haven't done it should really do it. It's from someone who just did it. It was amazing. It was a game changer for me.
Yay, how does it get any better than this? Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Will I share the recordings? Yes, everyone's going to receive the recording to this class in your email in the next 24 hours. Marita's saying that she wants to take the class but can't get her bars done for the We Are an Installation. Okay, this is only one time that I'm teaching it. I will be teaching it in the future too, so that is a possibility for the future. In addition, there are some Access Bars facilitators that are teaching Access Bars online. I am not one of them. You can go to the Access Consciousness website and check out if there's anyone that's teaching it online, and that is a form that you would like to learn your bars. You can definitely take it online. And if you prefer to wait until it's available in person, you can definitely do that. Where do you live, Marita? What country, what state? I don't know if you're still here with us or if you got up. Oh yeah, you are here. You want to just type it in? Yeah.
I live in Toronto, Ontario.
Okay, Toronto, Ontario. Okay. Yeah, you can definitely check out the Access Bars, the website, to see if there's anyone doing it online, if that's something that feels light for you. And if it doesn't, then, after we get out of isolation, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that are facilitating the class in person. And stay in touch, and you'll see all the other times that I'll be facilitating Foundation again too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions or comments before we sign off for today? All right. I think we are done for today. I thank each and every one of you so much for being here today, for joining us, for bringing your sparkly energy to create so much more. Thank you to Tomas and Juliana for translating. And how does it get any better than this? What else is possible here? Check out your email. You'll have the recording. You'll have the invitation to Foundation, as well as another free Zoom that's taking place next week. So thank you.
Thank you.
What else is possible now? Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.